Hey everyone, this is step 2 of paper mache. So once you've got your paper mache project built, nothing is falling off, you're happy with it, it's pretty stable on its own, it's a good size, you're ready to start actually paper mache. So you guys should have all gotten a bottle of glue, and you're going to need a container. So any container will do. It is just glue, it will wash out, but preferably something that you can kind of like a small container. You don't want to need a big bucket because you're going to waste it. Something small, so something even a bowl, like a small bowl would do too. And again, this will wash out, so it's not a big deal. So you're going to fill up, I use this container right here, and I put in about 2 inches of water. You can always make more. I would try, if you make too much, then you're going to end up wasting the glue. So I would always make a little batches, and you can save this as necessary, but I would make smaller batches as you need to. So I used about, you can see, about 2 inches of water in here, and I'm going to take my glue, and I'm going to give it a good squeeze in there. And what you don't want to do is use the entire bottle of glue. You just want to use a little bit, and you're going to take a back end of a paintbrush or something, and you're going to mix this together. Now your goal, mix it up really well. Your goal for this is that it should feel slimy. And you don't need a ton of glue, a little bit of glue, but you put your hands in there and you rub your hands together. It should feel kind of slimy or sticky. Like it shouldn't just feel like water. You should be able to tell there's something sticky or slimy in there. As you work from day to day, you just put a lid on this or saran wrap or tin foil or something over the top of it just to make sure it doesn't dry, but you can keep using it from day to day. Now, in order to paper mache, we need strips of newspaper. So newspaper rips in one direction. Little fun fact, it likes to rip in one direction, it does not like to rip in the other direction. So if you have the smaller Daily Times, I would rip it in half, and then paper likes to go long ways. Well, it's all square, but if it was together, it'd be long ways. So it rips in these nice, even little strips, and you want your strips to be small, no bigger than an inch, because if they're bigger, then they're gonna make folds and everything else. So, and the smaller, the better. So what you just do is just rip your newspaper, small. Now, if you try to rip it the other way, it's going to be all like jagged in pieces. So it only really works if you work long ways. If your paper is ripping badly, try to turn the paper around. All right, so now I'm going to do this on a surface that is okay to get, that you can wipe it off. It's going to get glue water on it. The most important thing that you can do is just remember, you want to wipe the glue water off. So you take your strips, and you can rip them smaller. So if you have smaller detailed areas, make them smaller. You dunk it in the water, and then you wipe off the glue water. So it's not sopping wet. It should be, damp. It should not be dripping. Wipe it off into the container, and then you just start layering it. So you can see here. Rub it off, layer. Any small spots that are sticking up, you just want to make sure that you rip it and then push it down. So like anything like this right here, how this is like a ridge because it's sticking out, just rip the paper and then fold it over. And you can go in different directions too, so you don't need to all go in the same direction. In fact, it works better if you go in different directions, and you're just going to cover it up. You're going to overlap it. If your project is sopping wet, there's too much water on it, wipe all that off. Go ahead, let it dry. You can come back to this day to day, so you don't have to finish a large area in one day. You can just finish a small spot, come back and start overlapping, start layering where you left off. So that's it. You're going to end up covering the whole entire thing. So cardboard gets covered, everything gets covered in paper mache. It's not really paper mache, but in glue, water, and newspaper. So everything gets covered. Everything. And this is what makes it smooth. So like I said, anything that sticks up is going to stick up permanently, and when you paint it, it's going to make it that much more obvious. So you just want to rip it. Okay? Everything gets covered. So now you can kind of see my head is going this way. The one thing I do want to show you is how to go from one shape to the next. Like I said, I'm going to rip this. So any bigger shapes, all you want to make sure that you do is layer it over top and make sure you have a nice, good, like, a nice good line that goes over that. And then as it dries, like tomorrow, I would come back with a little patch and like patch things up. So that's how you do it. You do the whole thing. You let it dry. Flip it over. Do the bottom. Like the whole entire surface, top and bottom, needs to be done. So you'll have to do it in stages where you let parts dry and then go from there.